Gotta hit that live button, buddy. Somebody just said, why are you not live on YouTube? You're live on Facebook. Why not YouTube? So, well, yes.
Tell them we are now. You know, there's a blue button that says go live, and I forgot to hit it.
Well, you know, you're going what? You weren't with us last week.
Yes.
You weren't, had other things going on last week. So
I'm rusty and dusty.
Rusty, so it's okay. So I forgive you. Yes. How you been doing though, man? How's life?
Good. I have Vex's internet. My stress level and blood pressure level probably went down 10 points.
Cool. Now let everybody know what Vex's internet is.
Better internet than Spectrum. Much better. I've only had to call them one time, and it was just for a general question about something. It had nothing to do with any issues. Oh, our pretty music went away.
Well, we welcome you to the program. Finish line is ready to go. It is going to be a great show. However, we've already got guests in the first hour that are dropping off like flies. So Charles, we might have more of an iRacing Charles Wooten segment.
Good. I got I got all kinds of iRacing news.
I'm glad you're feeling better because I know you've not been. You were feeling a little bit. Yeah, there you go, raspy.
Yeah,
so yeah, for sure. So anyhow, let's cue it up. This is who we had lined up to be on Finish Line. And now we'll reschedule with them for another time. Ronnie Silk, winner of the big NASCAR Willie Modified Tour event at New Smyrna Speedway, part of the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. Say that 3 times fast. He won the big race on Saturday night, and unfortunately, he is caught up in a meeting with his teammates. I just got a text from him like literally 30 minutes ago telling me, hey, man, I'm going to have to reschedule. I've got something else coming up. I didn't realize what time frame it was, what time spot it was, and I've got to have to reset. So it's all good, but I want to give mad props to Ronnie Silk. Charles, Ronnie Silk, one of the legends. Okay, I wouldn't say word legend because he's not like a Richie Evans or, somebody of that caliber. But definitely, when you think of modified racing in probably the last 20 years, you think of Ronnie Silk. And I'll always remember him with the Hillbilly Racing Team 79 Coors Light car.
You're talking dirt or asphalt modified?
Pavement.
Oh, okay.
Pavement modified. But Ronnie Silk has ran on dirt before.
Oh.
He has ran on dirt before. So, yeah. And that
Dirt's
whole song took up our first guest.
We need a longer song.
Anyhow, no, Ronnie, I like my jam there. Ronnie Silk will not be able to be on today. Going into hour number 1. Getting ready for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Beef, it's what's for dinner. 300. Charles, that's the name of the race. Beef, it's what's for dinner 300 at Daytona International Speedway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series lifter of 2023. Parker Retzlaff with Jordan Anderson Racing and Bommarito Auto Group is going to be on the program, followed by Josh Way. And he's the guy that messed up his leg. He messed up his leg, Charles. He literally just messaged me. He's in the ER getting his leg worked on. Something's happened to my foot. Okay, not leg, foot. I'm in the ER right now, hoping to be out. If any chance, can we reschedule? Hopefully we'll get him on. Hopefully we won't. He might be in an air cast. I don't know. What's your question?
So you said that it's beef is what's for dinner. So who sponsored that race? Bill Gates or something? Because I haven't eaten beef in a long time. I can't afford like a $10 steak is now like $50. I can afford that kind of meat these days.
Well, anyhow, I think it's the United States Department of Agriculture. I think it's who it is.
A bunch of cows sponsored the race.
It's what's for dinner, 300. Hour number 2 of Finish Line. We'll go with like this. Where the hell? Okay, there you go. I lost my damn script. Hour number 2 of Finish Line. We'll find
this is unscripted.
Jr. Well, I mean, I know it's unscripted, but I at least have a tally of like who my guest lineup is. Doug Barnes Jr., Charles, was on Finish Line last Wednesday morning. He turns around, goes to Florence. We fight the weather all friggin' weekend. He wins The NASCAR 5,000 win sanctioned icebreaker at Florence Motor Speedway. He is coming up at 2:05 to talk about it. Willie Mullins getting ready for ARCA at Daytona for the Lucas Oil 200 for the ARCA Menard Series on Saturday, part of the doubleheader with Xfinity. We'll be on at 2:20, and we're talking drag racing. Charles, you asked me a couple of weeks ago, when are we going to start talking about straight line go fast? We're talking drag racing. Fabian Brown, 2:40 Eastern Time. That is today on Finish Line.
What is Fabian Brown? That name sounds familiar.
He announces for NHRA, IHRA.
Okay, that's where it is. Well, there's another Brown, isn't there, that actually races in drag racing?
Tim Brown. Rocket Tim Brown. We've had Tim Brown on before.
There's another one, Anton Brown or something like that.
Oh, Antoine Brown. Yeah, he's the drag racer. They are not related. I don't think they're related.
Well,
Matco Tools, yes.
Matco Tools, which Tyler Hendrick, one of my good friends who races go-karts, is also sponsored by them. And yes. I believe they've got close to identical fire suits, if I'm not mistaken. I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I just talking right now, so.
We got to fill in at least 15 minutes or so. And again, Charles is going to have a segment. He might have two segments because we literally do not know if Josh Wade will be here at 1:50. And we lost Ronnie Silk because of a meeting. But I will say this, though. Charles, I got to ask you, man, what's your take of Speed Weeks? Where do you think Speed Weeks is headed with dirt, with pavement? You know, is it, I'm not saying that I'm not a fan of Speed Weeks, because I am, and I'm not even talking about this on the realm of NASCAR. Let's be honest, Speed Week is only 1 week now for NASCAR, this week at Daytona. That's it. There's no longer 10, 12, 14 days like it used to be. So my question is this, is the dirt side, is the pavement side, what are they going to do? We know East Bay Raceway Park is about to be out of business. They're about to close down permanently. So there's another great racetrack that's going to be joining Stafford Motor Speedway or Greenville Pickens Speedway in the most 3 recent tracks that have announced that they're closing up shop. What is the other track? I-80 Speedway in Kansas. That track is gone. So
don't forget I-30 Speedway too.
I-30 Speedway, Little Rock, Arkansas. There you go. Tracy Clay, great promoter. Track's gone. What do we do? These tracks are dropping off like flies. Events are dropping off like flies, though, Charles.
I mean, in my neck of the woods, I have Lawton Speedway that's an hour and a half away. There's a track here that keeps opening and closing, opening and closing. You go down South Texas, you could throw a rock and hit 12 tracks probably. So, do some tracks unfortunately probably need to close? I would say yes. Some of these big name tracks, it's unfortunate, but if you've got a local track or 2 local tracks within an hour or 2 of each other, for the people out there wanting to, don't build another track. That's why we end up closing them. There's too many of them as it is. So you're spreading the drivers thin, sponsors are being thin, and now you've got this whole economy thing going on. So that isn't helping anything. And I can only imagine what it costs these tracks for insurance now, because they were saying something about car insurance and premiums up like $260 average a year now. So yes, I would imagine that's probably affecting tracks and drivers as well too. So yeah, I mean, it's just a bad situation overall, but I'm going to use a big word here. I implore iRacing, or the tracks, I guess, get a hold of iRacing, get these track scans into the system if you can. At least get them scanned. Even if they don't get put in iRacing now, at least we have the data.
But is it true, though, Charles, that it just costs so much money to get these racetracks scanned on iRacing? I mean, wasn't I told that it's close to $1 million or more, depending on the layout of the facility or how big it is?
I'm not sure. I think it's probably up there, because I know, I forgot where I heard this from, or if I think I was directly told it at one point, that to scan a car, it's in the range of like 200,000. But again, that could be way off. I can't remember where I heard it from. So it could be fake news, but I would imagine it's a pretty penny because you got to send a pretty substantial crew out there, and everything's laser scanned, so it's not just going out there and someone doodling. That looks like it's 5 feet tall. No, it's all laser scanned, and they scan the surrounding area. I'm sure because we have, like Knoxville, one of the newer dirt tracks. You have the road and the cars driving behind it, so I would imagine it is a pretty penny. And I don't know if the scanning is as much of the cost of as it is. Then you got to give rights to the track. They've got to get a cut of it probably somehow.
Sure. And it's only fair. Am I right, though, Charles? It's only fair. It's only fair that they get a share of the money.
I think it's definitely fair. As a track owner, to be honest, I would say give me, I don't need much. If I was a track owner and I could get my track into iRacing, I would almost forfeit that and say, I want, if you change something, I want approval of it. But get me in there. I mean, it gets them in the world's best simulator. So personally, I wouldn't want anything. I would just want to be in there. So, I mean, there may be people that would love to come race it in real life that have never even heard of the place.
That's right. Ronnie Silk was scheduled to be on here. Parker Retzlaff will be coming up here, and I give you the go sign, Charles. As soon as we see Parker Retzlaff jump in the box, let's bring him on in here. Obviously, we could talk iRacing with him. We could talk NASCAR Xfinity with him. He's one of those drivers that was very successful, Charles, in iRacing. We covered many iRacing broadcasts on LSRTV that he committed and ran in. And now he's in the Xfinity ride with Jordan Anderson Racing, Bommarito Auto Group out of South Carolina. They got a lot of great things planned for this year. I still believe in the American dream, and the land of opportunity is the US of A. Though screwed up our country is right now, it doesn't stop the fact, Charles Wooten, that if you, I'm trying to be my Uncle Sam here on Finish Line, if you want to go after your goals, if you want to go after your dreams, if you want to go after something to be something in life, nobody is going to stop you but you. And he has proven that he has the spunk and the energy and the drive to chase his dreams, chase his goals, chase his career. He's in an Xfinity ride, and we're going to have him here coming up very soon, Charles. Did you like my Uncle Sam?
I did, and I liked your speech because I've been working on my new show, so nobody can stop me but me. And just full disclosure, we're starting up start line instead of finish line. And you heard it here. He can't stop me, so nobody can but me. No.
Not only do we have Charles with Start Line, we now also want to plug the Press Box Motorsports podcast.
Yes, see, and they go in order. So you go start line, finish line, and then you go up to the press box.
I like that. I like that. As long as I get naming rights, if it becomes a big national radio show, damn it all podcast, I want naming rights. I want to get rights for the show because I gave it to you.
Oh, good, because we're going to make the logo pretty much identical. We're just going to take out your name, put my name, and put start instead of finish. So
we'll anyhow, Parker Retzlaff will be coming up here very, very soon. And when he does, we'll bring him on the program here. So, again, we welcome y'all to Finish Line. We appreciate you tuning in. If you got any questions for any of our guest panel, Charles, I keep saying this. One day, we need to pick a day. Me and Dave Moody were actually talking about this via text the other day. And he has like a free speech Friday on Sirius XM Speedway. And he told me that. He said, you know what you need to do? You need to pick a day that you and Charles open up your phone lines and let fans call in. Let them say what they think about drivers, what they think about the sport, what their questions are, concerns. What do you think?
Well, basically, Finish Line Uncensored.
Finish Line Uncensored. Maybe I will say this, maybe one time out of the month, we condense down to maybe 3 guests live on the show and maybe give 2 segments per hour to the fans if they want to call in to be on the show. What do you think of that, Charles?
As long as they're calling your cell phone number, not mine.
Charles doesn't want his cell phone number to go out publicly. And my phone number is out publicly. I could care less.
So technically, if they called me and they're not in my contacts because of my robo killer, it wouldn't come through on my phone anyway. So if you're not in my contacts,
so like will automatically go to like voicemail, right? Or
yes,
leave me alone.
It will automatically go to my voicemail and it will say this is Donald Trump or something like that. So yes, even if they were to call me, it wouldn't get through.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, anyhow, Parker Retzlaff will be coming up here in just a few minutes, and he'll save me and Charles out of what we're talking about right now because I'm sure the numbers are dropping. But, yeah, Charles, I mean, back to what we were talking about, speed weeks. We were talking about speed weeks. We were talking about NASCAR. We were talking about, you know, obviously the short tracks, Bubba Raceway, East Bay Raceway, North Florida, Alltech, Volusia, Hendry County, North Florida Speedway. All of these racetracks, every track in Florida, even pavement tracks, okay? Showtime, Citrus County, Iverness Speedway right now, Iverness, Florida, is having the U.S. Legends Car Winter Nationals a whole week long. It started on Monday. So my question is are we saturating speed weeks, or do we need to leave it alone and keep it the way that it is right now, Charles? For instance, you had Lucas Oil for 3 weeks on the road in Georgia and Florida. World of Outlaws, if you count the Sunshine Nationals, and now you count the Dirt Car Nationals, they've been racing for almost 3 weeks in Barberville, Florida. Is enough, or is it too much? What do you think?
My personal opinion, I don't think it's the speed weeks. I don't think it's the problem. The problem, and we've talked about this on the show before, and it'll probably be again, is there's too many variations. There's too many series. There's too many classes. So each
Gotcha.
series wants their own speed week, and then you end up with like speed year instead of speed week. You know, if you had, you know, a national late model series, a national super late model, and there was just big, you know, 1 or 2 sanctioning body, like one sanctioning body for each class, then you may only have, you know, 6 weeks of speed weeks, each one doing their own thing. Instead, you have, you know, Joe Blow's speed week for late models, and you have, you know, Uncle Sam's speed week for late model. Like, there's just too many sanctioning bodies out there. I think they need to cut them down. I think we battle it out as your green screen's falling. I don't even want to know what's happening.
The green screen has fell on me, everybody. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with more Finish Line in a minute.
Oh, gee.
Welcome to the Community Radio Network. Follow us always via social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports. Plus, listen to the new CRN 87.9 and still anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
This is Finish Line.
Welcome back. I don't know what happened here. Like, seriously, Charles, it's like the set imploded over me. It's like, did you see the set, like, just literally swallowing me up? It's like it's the invasions of everything up in the air, okay? Everybody freaking out over that. I'm freaking out over a green screen trying to swallow me.
Well, apparently so. You're trying to get over in my set.
That's it. No more green screen. I'm just gonna have vinyl in the back. It's gonna look like a like I'm broadcasting from a construction site, you know. And by the way, it's not vinyl. What the hell is it? It's not vinyl. It's
I don't know. It's covered up. Let's see what it looks like. It looks like wood paneling to me.
wood paneling. Yeah, that's it. Wood paneling. Why the hell did I say vinyl? I'm sorry.
I had an announcement,
Oh, wow.
then that happened, and I forgot what it was.
You have an announcement. Go ahead. What was your announcement?
I can't remember. I started laughing so hard at your green screen falling that I forgot what it was. That's really bad.
When it's live, it's live. I tell people this all the time. When we are live, when it is live, it is live. There is nothing you can do. All you got to do is just smile and say, okay, well, this is what we're going to do to press on. So, no, in all seriousness, Charles, I think I moved the chair the wrong way. And when I did, I caught the side of the green screen here. And, ooh, I got loud all of a sudden. Oh, there we go. And it tripped. It knocked the green screen, and the green screen wanted to like swallow me. So
it was definitely swallowing you.
I'm alive though.
Well,
I'm alive though. I got to fix the lights. I kind of freaked out and messed up the lights, so I got to fix the lights here. But I'm alive though.
Well, while we wait on him, we've seen interesting stuff. That's your green screen falling down. I think that's probably number 2. Number 1 is obviously the wasp or bee that was in there. So I'll have to go find that episode for anyone that didn't see the bee incident.
It was when Brandon Clements was on the show. It was when Brandon Clements was on the show. I know that much. It was in the summertime. It was in the summer. It was hot as hell. Okay? It was in the summer, hot as hell, and Brandon Clements was the guest on the show. I do remember that much.
Yeah, and all I remember of this is him trying to kill a bee, and in his fit of rage at this bee, instead
I let
of
the
saying,
guest take over the show.
He's like, instead of saying, "Hey Charles, take over for a minute," he hands it to the guest of the show and tells them to run the show. No.
I hand him the keys to the kingdom and was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to let you handle things real quickly. I'll be right back because I got to go kill a damn wasp or bee or whatever it was." But that was whenever they were getting in the studio, like 2 or 3, 4 of them in a period of a day or two were getting in the studio and freaking me out.
Oh, because you were definitely freaked out.
If I get stung, I'll sweat up like this.
We see that. Let's go find one. I want to see that, what it looks like.
So I can't, So like whenever there's a bee or a wasp around me, I freaking flip out. Just get the hell away from me. I start swatting, going like this, try to get them out of my way. I cannot get stung. Literally, I cannot get stung. It will not be good, Charles. I will blow up like a blowfish on your show, and I've already got, I'm not fat by any means of the imagination, but I have a nice muscular figure. Is that a way of saying it, Charles? Is that?
Okay. I plead the 5th. I'm pleading the 5th on this one.
And we got Parker Retzlaff yet? Somebody help us. We got green screens falling on us. We've got equipment falling down.
Well,
I'm talking about the Wesley Outlet weight loss plan. And we are ready to finally end this segment. So, yes. But no, in all seriousness though, short tracks and speed weeks, I think it's a good thing. I think that's going to be our topic question of the day for all of our guests. And we do apologize that we couldn't get Ronnie Silk on. Ronnie was scheduled to be on. Big winner of the NASCAR Willen Modified Tour event at the big race this past weekend at New Smyrna Speedway. And 200 laps, he was the guy on top. Probably one of the biggest wins of his career, another big win. Now we're going to talk NASCAR Xfinity Series racing. And joining us is the driver of the number 31 machine for Jordan Anderson Racing, Bommarito Auto Group, and a fan of iRacing as well. You see him in his rig. Parker Retzlaff, it's great to have you back on Finish Line. What's up, my friend? Ready to go to Daytona?
I'm ready. Thank you for having me back. It's been a long time, but I'm glad to be back, and I'm ready to go to Daytona.
I'm so glad that you came in because I don't know if you were watching or if you saw it or not, but the damn green screen attacked me. It fell on me live on set. So we had to go to a commercial break, and we were just kind of chatting about speed weeks, man. And not NASCAR speed week, but short track speed week, dirt and pavement. And that is our focus topic question to all of our guests before we even get into delving on things. What is your take of speed weeks and where it's at today in 2023? Parker, as it ends the home stretch, because obviously the final big race of Speed Week for any big race in Florida is the Daytona 500 this Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I really like Speed Weeks. I spent the last couple years there at the ARC race every year at New Smyrna, so I want to go down the whole week and watch all the New Smyrna races this year, and I just had too much stuff going on in North Carolina, so I couldn't even make it down. So I think I'm gonna go down there Thursday and check out the races just to check it out for one day of the week before we go to Daytona and get ready to do that. But I'm a big fan of Speed Weeks. I like watching. I made sure to watch and tune in every night.
Oh, Parker, life is good, man. I mean, I know you got to be excited. You got a full-time ride. Looking forward to driving with Jordan Anderson Racing, Balmerito Auto Group. I would say keep an eye on that race team this year, not only at Daytona in the Beef It's What's for Dinner 300 on Saturday afternoon, but for the 2023 season, you might have a chance to run for the championship and go to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's definitely our goal. Our goal right now at the beginning of the season is just to make the playoffs. I think everyone on my team and me and the crew chief have the same goal, is just to go make the playoffs and learn every week. So, I mean, I'm very confident in our team and everyone we have around us. So I don't think there's any reason why we can't go make the playoffs and compete at the top.
Parker, how have you adapted per se to the lifestyle of being the, ARCA driver or running iRacing, being in the iRig like yourself? And I assume to say you never stop practicing on iRacing, do you? I mean, how many laps have you turned at Daytona in an Xfinity car to prepare for the race this Saturday that you're riding racing for real on Saturday afternoon at the World Center of Racing?
I mean, I've done some laps on iRacing, but it's not, you can't get the full experience of the draft. I've watched a lot of races and just talking to everyone about drafting and all the other stuff, trying to learn from everyone I can. So it's just, I think once we get to the places where I can actually use iRacing more and use the simulator stuff more than at Daytona, I think that I'll use that to my advantage also. But I'm always doing iRacing. It's slowed down a lot since I signed this deal, but I'm still trying to do iRacing every chance I do have.
Did you ever think, Parker, that iRacing and all the things that you've done in your sim career and racing career, don't want to take anything away from you from what you've done in a real late model car to then being in ARCA and now running full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But did you feel that all of the work that you did, especially during COVID, would lead to the opportunity that you have now driving for Jordan Anderson Racing?
No, I didn't really think about it because I mean last year was just a couple race deal in the Xfinity Series just to try and hopefully do this. And I think, I mean, I showed up to Phoenix and kind of proved myself and put myself on the map. So I mean, I was known as, the iRacing guy and being really good at iRacing, but I think that Phoenix really put me on the map, and then going to Richmond the next week after my next race after that and finishing 10th really, helped me boost myself and get a spot in a full-time ride at Jordan Anderson Racing.
Parker Retzlaff joining us here on Finish Line. Of course, he'll be ready to go for the Beef It's What's for Dinner 300 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, their first lid lifter of 2023 this Saturday afternoon at the World Center of Racing. Now, Parker, you're not running the ARCA race, am I correct? I know that's the ARCA Xfinity doubleheader on Saturday, but you're not running ARCA anymore, am I correct?
No, I'm not. I will not be there. I think I'll be just, I might watch it and, just anything I can do to just see more plate racing and that stuff, even for when we go back to Daytona. So I'm just trying to learn everything I can in the first race and hopefully be there at the end of the race and get a good finish.
Charles in Texas, you got any question for a former iRacing alum? Well, he's still an iRacing alumni. But,
yes, I
somebody
do.
we had on before, Parker Retzlaff. We called many iRacing broadcasts during the pandemic when he was running, he won. He was competitive. I also know he ran in the eNASCAR Coca-Cola Series last year. Am I right, Parker? You ran that deal, and now just kind of putting focus full-time on the Xfinity Series, Charles.
Now, my question is kind of a shameless plug for myself as well. This whole setup that we're doing right now, we've talked about it on here. We're going to start implementing this. As far as the sim side goes, real racing, they stick a camera and a mic in your face and you're on national television and you get to talk and show off your swag and stuff like that. We're starting to implement this, like you connecting. Hopefully you think it's a simple process, but do you think, that should be a more staple thing in the sim side where people can connect to video, show off their, their team shirts, team hats, sponsors, stuff like that, and actually get them a little more exposure here, even on the sim side of things?
I think that stuff like this, like what you guys are doing here, is really good for anything real racing, sim racing, all of that. I think sim racing would benefit a lot more if there was more stuff like this, like the actual camera, like video interviews, like that stuff. Even after the race, I think we did a few of them during the COVID stuff, but I think it would benefit a lot if everyone did it. It's cool to just actually see the drivers and the whatever, their team merch, like this, my TDM stuff and everything else. I think that really would help, and it's better to just have a video than just hear their voice and everything, like through a Discord or something. So I think what you guys are doing here is really, really nice, and I really like it, and it was really easy.
Well, Finish Line started in 2019, January of 2019 to be exact. And when it started, it was just a radio show. And then, of course, in the last 2 years, it has adapted to being now on video thanks to LSR Productions, Rocket Racing Media, with Charles Wooten, with Jeb Stabnow, James Vining, all the people that are behind the scenes in making this happen. Because if it wasn't for that, Parker, it would just be a radio show, and it would just be simply me calling you up on a cell phone line or a landline. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, because I believe, like Doug Rice says, radio will never die. It never will die. Radio will always be the long-standing ant that will survive everything when the world of television switches to streaming and there's no longer cable, and we are a victim of our own demise because of that. But radio will survive. But to have radio and video, to see the drivers, to see people like yourself, Parker, to see their interactions, to see their body language from the questions that you're asked, I think, like you said, that's definitely something really, really cool. Parker, Team Dillon Management, can you talk a little bit more about that because of the shirt that you're wearing? Like me, I'm promoting the Daytona 500. I know you're promoting Team Dillon Management. What is Team Dillon Management?
So it's a management company run or owned by Austin Dillon, and it's just been a really big help in my career. I signed a deal with them mid to end of last year, and they've just been taking care of all my stuff and getting me on the right track of everything I should be doing, and getting me everything I should and helping me in every way they can. So it's been a big help in my career, and it's definitely been like a big change, but it's been a really good change.
I got to say this in regards to Austin Dillon. Obviously, I think this could be the year for Austin Dillon, okay? I'm a realist here. I've known that young man and his brother Ty for a long, long time when they used to run dirt late models, okay? A lot of people don't realize that, but that's where they started, running dirt late models. I announced one of the biggest races he ever did at Charlotte. Now, with that being said, with what he has at Richard Childress Racing, with Kyle Busch now being in the car, Austin Dillon finishing second in the Clash at the Coliseum, Kyle Busch being the showstopper at the Clash this year, in my opinion. He was up in the front. He got taken out. He rallied all the way back to the front. He finished in third. He was my pick to win the race. That just didn't happen. I thought the curtain's going to fall on me again. But with that being said, I really believe that Austin Dillon can set himself up for not only a good year in the season for NASCAR, Parker, but I also believe that Austin is putting himself into a business structure that when he steps away from the car, in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it is on the lifespan that they have racing. I believe that he is going to be somebody that is still going to be involved in the sport, not because of his grandfather, Richard Childress, but because of what Austin Dillon is doing with his own business opportunities like Team Dillon Management.
Yeah, I think Austin's really smart with everything he does. I mean, I've talked to him a little bit, and he's really smart, and he's been around the whole sport a long time. So I think even when he's done racing, I don't think him step away and get out of the sport. I think he'll be around, with the Team Dillon Management, and probably there'll probably be some other stuff by then that he's doing. And I mean, yeah, he's just really smart. They've all been a really big help to me.
I got a question I want to ask you about this as well. We're going to spend a few more minutes with the driver, of course, of Parker Retzlaff, driver of the number 31 machine for Jordan Anderson Racing, Balmerito Auto Group. Their season fires up in the Beef It's What's for Dinner 300. The new rule changes of NASCAR, especially for the Xfinity Series, but more or less at Cup. What are some new rules that have happened for the Xfinity Series for 2023 that we definitely should keep an eye on watching, that could be the good or the bad of the sport for this year, Parker?
I mean, I haven't really, been too focused on all the rule changes. I've been just kind of, focused on myself. I think no matter what, NASCAR is going to try and do what they think is best for the sport, and if it's
Sure.
not good, they'll just make the rule change back. So I think, I mean, any change, people are gonna, some people aren't gonna like it, some people are gonna like it. I mean, they've made changes to the cars every year. They've changed a lot of other stuff. I think they're gonna do what they think is best, and I'm just here for the ride for the whole thing. So, I mean, I'm good with whatever they change, and
So I was on the road yesterday, Monday I think it was, and one of the topics that came up was about stage racing on Sirius XM radio. Are you a fan of stage races? Do you think that that's good for the sport, good for the fans? Or are you kind of like the Achilles heel of, you think it's stupid, this is not what racing is, let's go out and run from start to finish? What's your take of that as a young man in the sport, Parker?
I mean, I don't hate stage racing. I think it's cool. I think it's bunches the whole field back up. I think at times you wish it didn't exist if you're one of the people out front has a good long run car, and then there's other times where it can make the race more interesting. So I think like I said, some people aren't gonna like it, some people are gonna like it. So I'm a fan of it. I think that it makes the race sometimes more interesting. So I mean, I'm good with all the stage racing. I like it.
Charles Wooten has got another question for you. Go ahead, Charles.
So on the subject of stage, we talked about this the other day, and I want to bring it back. I want to get his opinion, and you've seen this, so maybe the fans would like this, maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. We always have set stages. Okay, there's going to be a caution for stay on stage 1 at lap 30. I wonder what NASCAR the fans would think if they did like a Northwest style. Okay, there's a stage caution, but it's going to be between lap 15 and lap 22. You don't know when it's going to be. They do that. That really make people have to do some strategy racing.
Yeah, I mean that I think that would make it more, like something happen on the racetrack, never be able to plan for it. I think it would make the races really interesting. I think, a lot of people would, not be a fan of it, and there would be a lot of complaints about it. But I think, at points it could make the races really interesting just because you never know when it's going to happen. Just like, a regular yellow, you never know when it's going to happen. So I think, it would be interesting. I think a lot of people would hate it. And, I don't know. I mean, that's just, I don't know if it would ever happen just because, they are trying to do whatever they think best. I know that a lot of people don't like the stage yellows, but I mean, I'm good with all of them.
See, and Parker, I'm a fan of the stages because when you're in the announcer booth, and hear me out, and me and Charles have talked about this, and I've talked about it with real network people also with doing broadcasting. If you have a drug out, boring race, you're praying for a caution flag. When you're in the broadcast booth and you're literally trying to find something to talk about, and any veteran commentator that's done it like I have can tell you that you're literally pulling on strings trying to find information. So, in my opinion, when you're getting a caution flag at the end of the stages, you're bunching everybody back up. And it's not just you're getting a caution for the stage to bunch everybody back up, Parker. You're racing towards something. You're getting points. Those stage cautions, those stage breaks are not just yellow flags because the race might have got boring. And in my opinion, I believe that when you get to like the last 10 laps of a stage, the racing becomes very intense because, damn it all, you guys want those 10 points. You know how important it is to go towards a championship.
Yeah, I agree with that. I know that this year we're trying to get stage points, so I think I would agree with you completely on that. I think it makes the races more interesting at the end. I mean, everyone wants those points. You want the stage points. It helps going towards, you know, there's a lot of the lower teams that are not like the top three teams, but the teams that are going to try and like point their way into the playoffs that want those stage points and need those stage points to help boost themselves in the playoff standings. So I think like our team, I know we're going to be fighting for those stage points every week and trying to get as many as we can. So. And I think, like you said in the booth, just waiting, the long, boring races. I think that the people that aren't diehard fans aren't gonna just, if the race gets really boring, they're just gonna not be as in tuned if there's a stage break.
Sure.
I know that some of the older people like just the long races, with no yellows and all that stuff. And I think the reflight pit stops are good, like that stuff. But also, I think for bringing more people to the sport, that the stage breaks and the more entertainment, even if it does hurt some drivers.
Oh,
Getting a phone call.
I think somebody called him. There he is. Tell people to quit calling you on the air.
1 second.
You're here. You're
Oh,
here,
yeah.
Parker. Yeah. What can you do? Block people on your computer on your iRacing rig? That is so cool. What did you put? Do not disturb?
I have it on my phone, but yeah, I was getting a phone call.
That's awesome. But it popped up on your iRacing rig though, right? So you can tell people, leave me alone, I'm busy.
Oh no, I sent a message on my computer just saying that I was on an interview that I couldn't pick up the phone.
Man, one of these days, all of you people out there that are freaking out about all these unidentified flying objects or whatever there are flying through the sky, you need to watch the movie Maximum Overdrive, because one day all of these machines are going to go AWOL on everybody. So, no, I'm just playing. I'm playing. That was just a great movie by Stephen King. What would happen if your computer tried to attack you like my green screen attacked me? Hey, Parker, we got to take a quick break. Now, you got a decision to make. You can either stay with Charles and I, and we'll give you another segment, or we'll let you part ways if you got other things going on, and I'll let you have two segments instead of one. So you decide, and then when we come back, if you want to, we'll talk about iRacing in general, not Xfinity racing, but your iRacing career and what your thoughts are of iRacing. So do you want to stay with us, or do you want us to go to break and just us banter?
Yeah, I gotta go do some stuff before I leave for Daytona. I leave right away tomorrow, so.
Well, Parker, thank you so much, buddy. Before I do let you go, and he had one segment, so that's why I was kind of offering it on the table to him for people, so don't get mad at him. But, Parker, before I do let you go, man, I want you to thank your sponsors. I want you to thank everybody that's helped you out. And Jordan Anderson, man, he is such a great guy. Can we say that in closing? That's the guy that I've known for about 4 or 5 years who selfishly, building his career, realized he would be a better entrepreneur in the sport of building young talent like yourself, like the other drivers that he has on his team, and him stepping out of a race car to work on the management owner side of it. What can you say about Jordan Anderson in closing, Parker?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan has been really good. He's been really good to work with since I've only been, my deal, I guess, been there with them for 2 months or something. So, I guess 3 months now, but it's been like really, really good working with Jordan. He's been, one of the best people I've ever worked with for the owner management side of stuff. So it's been really great, and he's building a really good team with a lot of good people over there. So I just also have to thank Jordan and all them, and Funkaway for everything they're doing for me this year, and Ponzi for they've been with me for 10 years now, and my parents for everything they do, and everyone that's just supported me the whole time.
Well, Parker, listen, buddy, it has been awesome having you here on Finish Line again. Thank you for taking the time to reach out. Don't lose that humbleness that you have. I say this to everybody all the time. Some of these guys that are young, they get started in the sport, then all of a sudden they make it up the cup in the big time. They become cocky, arrogant, forget where they come from. Don't lose that humbleness of what got you to the dance, Parker. And I think you're going to have an amazing fan base when you get there one day. I got a feeling you're going to be one of them Sunday stars. But thank you so much, man, for remembering where you come from and for being on Finish Line this afternoon.
Thank you for having me. It was, it was a lot of fun just hanging out with you guys during COVID. So thank you for having me again.
Awesome. Good luck at Daytona. Parker Retzlaff, ladies and gentlemen, the Jordan Anderson Racing Bommarito Auto Group machine getting ready for the beef. It's what's for dinner. 300 Charles at Daytona this Saturday at the World Center of Racing. ARCA also in action. By the way, it all kicks off at Daytona tonight. Qualifying for the 65th running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. The front row will be locked in for Sunday's event. From Wednesday night qualifying, Thursday is the duels at Daytona. There'll be a couple of practice sessions, then the duels at Daytona. Then there will also be truck practice, Xfinity practice beginning Thursday and Friday. Friday night, the NASCAR the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Yes, Craftsman is back as they begin their 30th season under NASCAR Truck Series racing. Craftsman has returned as the title sponsor of their Premier Truck division, and their race is on Friday night. Saturday is another round of practice, happy hour for the NASCAR Cup Series for the Daytona 500, Xfinity Series qualifying, ARCA qualifying, and then the ARCA Menard Series, Lucas Oil 200, and the Beef It's What's for Dinner 300 culminates, Charles, to the Daytona 500, the Great American Race, the 65th running. Oh, and by the way, Charles, a.k.a. it, there is no tickets available. And I mean no tickets. I always think this dang thing's going to follow me again. No tickets whatsoever, whether it is for the grandstands, for pre-race, for grandstand, for admissions, for trackside, for camping, for RV. The place, Charles, is completely sold out for the 8th consecutive year, the fastest in history this year for the 65th running of the Great American Race.
I'm impressed. And it is real people. They're not putting cardboard people in the seats this year, right?
They never put cardboard. They never put cardboard people
yeah,
in the
dude,
seats.
COVID. Somebody put like cardboard people in the seats, or either they were animated things in the seats or something. They're like digitized into the seats during COVID.
Oh, yes. Okay. When COVID was going on and no fans were allowed to be in the grandstands, I think they did make some. Ow, man, I hurt my funny bone. They did make some.
Very funny, was it?
It wasn't very funny at all. Why the hell do they call it a funny bone for?
I don't know.
They did. Absolutely. You're exactly right, Charles. They did make it where there was some fans in the grandstands, but now the real fans are back. Charles, can you imagine 102,000 people all massively gathered on one big front straightaway like at Daytona? I mean, only at Daytona, baby.
I can imagine this. That would be fun to see. Hopefully they got a good shot of it. They can get us something. My phone's going off too. So I'm popular like Parker.
You got people calling him. Mute your phone, man. We're live on the air. What the hell? Is it the bing, bing, bing?
Yes. I mean, in your defense or their defense, I can't see it anyway. So,
what's the oh my God, what was the name of the hairy thing from
Cousin
the movie
It?
from Addams Family? Was it Cousin It? I was right. I said Cousin It. Yeah, you look like Cousin It. Yeah. I mean, finally shaven. Charles needs to shave. Like, yeah, man. Like, You look like somebody just sits in the back of class and people poke at.
I literally cannot see anything, by the way. Like,
Oh.
I can tell you our next guest. Well, our next guest isn't going to be here, are they?
Has Josh Way connected? I don't think he's there, is he?
No, we do not have anybody else connected yet.
Yeah, he's in the hospital, man. Hopefully he gets to feeling better. He literally messaged us and said he had something wrong with his foot. And Charles, I got to ask you, man, I know we're going off subject while we wait for Doug Barnes Jr. We'll take our quick break at the top of the hour for Network ID and reset for hour number 2. But what did you think of the Super Bowl on Sunday?
Well, Wesley, I'm going to lay it to you this way.
Probably didn't watch it.
The Super Bowl was awesome. I had Little Smokies and some sausage and chips and dip. As to who won or lost, I have no idea still.
Oh. Did you even watch the game, or was that just your
Nope.
Super Bowl Sunday snacks on Sunday?
I had the Super Bowl snacks, but without the Super Bowl. I guess they were just snacks at that point.
Well, anyhow, Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs locked up their second title, obviously in 4 years, with Mahomes at the helmet quarterback on Sunday in Super Bowl 57. They won over the Philadelphia Eagles 38-35. I was so happy. I want to say this in a very nice way.
Uh-oh.
The Eagles fans are becoming as obnoxious as the damn Cowboys fans of Dallas. That's all I have to say about it. Oh, they're America's team. We're America's team. Okay. All right. You're America's team. When's the last time the Dallas Cowboys went to the Super Bowl? Won the Super Bowl? The Troy Aikman era. That would have been 94, 95. I was a kid at that time, okay? Like, I remember literally watching Dallas win there. They've not done anything since then. So, in my opinion, they need to kick Jerry Jones to the curb. They need to find some new owners. They need to get somebody in there that actually knows what the hell they're doing when it comes to coaching. And I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, Charles, because I know you live in Texas.
I'm not a Cowboys fan.
You're not a Cowboys fan?
No.
Good. And I'm not even going to say what I think about the Houston Texans.
I'm not a fan of them either.
That's just a second. That's just a second tier mockery of Dallas, in my opinion. But anyhow, props to the Chiefs. I knew they were going to win. I told somebody, we were all gathered together. Jackie, myself, my mom, my dad, all of us were together. My grandmother, everybody were all together watching the Super Bowl. And I said, I'm telling you right now, when Mahomes went down and he messed up his ankle or he kind of, aggravated it again, I said, they done woke up a sleeping giant. You done pissed this man off. He's getting ready to go in the locker room while we watch Rihanna shake her pregnant booty for about 30 minutes on the stage. And oh my, and listen, let me say something in regards to the halftime show. I'm not trying to make anybody mad here.
It was awful.
It's not the music forte that I like. Like, I just can't drive down the road listening to thumping music to give me a damn headache. But with that being said, I thought she did a superb job. I liked the stage. I liked the way that they had the platform with her 50, 60, 100 feet up in the air. She's probably the bravest pregnant woman in America to do it, to be 100 feet in the air on a scaffolding with wiring to keep her going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. This is the worst pantomime ever of a lift. But anyhow,
I mean, she was
I thought there was kind of
there
was kind of a, I don't understand the whole wearing the dark red and having everybody else dressed like Oompa Loompas with white all around the stage. That's all I could think of when I saw that. I thought of two movies. I thought of Old Brother, Where Art Thou? When there was and I don't want to say this in a bad way, but when there was the KKK demonstration scene in the movie, and the Grand Wizard is wearing red, everyone else is wearing white. That made me think of that. Or
I can see that
number two, the Oompa Loompas. And I don't know why the hell Rihanna was dressed in red. But maybe she was celebrating Valentine's Day a couple of days early. I don't know. But
it was Willie, Rihanna, and the Oompa Loompas out there. I mean, that's exactly what it was. I mean, that's what I thought. I thought it was this bunch of Oompa Loompas.
But listen, though, Charles, the same people that get on social media and they bash the people about the Super Bowl and the music and the dancing and the hot blah and why can't it be country or why can't it be rock and blah, 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 blah. Bring back the Rolling Stones, bring back the Beatles. Da, da, da. It's the same people that got on here on social media last Sunday at the Clash at the Coliseum and blasted Wiz Khalifa, blasted Pitbull, blasted all the talent that were on the Clash at the Coliseum entertainment side of things for the NASCAR race 2 years and this past year as well. And my thing is this, Charles. We've got, and I'll say this in closing before we go to break and we go into hour number 2. We've got to, Charles, find a way to draw interest of our younger fan base because we're lost right now. I just want to be honest with you people out there. You can be in denial all you want to. You can think that motorsports is the greatest grand thing in the world. And I'm talking about dirt. I'm talking about pavement, which I will say about dirt track racing, they're holding their own. They're holding their own, but it needs more younger people in the sport. We need people like Parker Retzlaff to still be involved. There's not a very growing interest of wanting to have drivers in this industry. And I've said it before, Charles, and I'll say it again. I said it about a month ago. It is ridiculous that iRacing is paying an obscene amount of money to do an iRacing event where you run a real race car and you can't even pocket $50, $60, $100,000 to win a championship at the end of the year. But yet there's a $300,000 purse on the line, $100,000 going to the winner of an iRacing championship when it's all said and done. Not counting $50,000 a win for a World of Outlaws Dirt iRacing esports series or other stuff. I'm not going to get on that bandwagon again, but I'm just going to say, Charles, I started, but then I stopped.
You kicked the horse and got the wagon going and jumped off.
Exactly. I got it started, and I put the brakes on. But am I right though, Charles? I mean, we've got to find a way to draw more fans in the sport, and the music. If that is the cat's pajamas, and I know that's the word you like me saying, the pick of the litter. If that is the cat's pajamas that today's generation of people listen to in music, then so be it. I can take 15 minutes of thumping, beating, rapping, understanding not a damn word that somebody's saying if it brings another 20,000 fans in that are new fans of the sport.
Yes, we have one fan waiting. I don't listen to the music anyway. I just tune it out. I go and eat food during the stuff. So I'm not there anyway. So
I believe that we're in a time where there is music and entertainment, racing, music, entertainment, fireworks. All of the things need to go hand in hand. We're at the top of the hour. We're going into hour number 2. Doug Barnes Jr., the heir. Doug Barnes Jr., winner at Florence. Back again after last week. Joins us for hour number 2 of Finish Line next.
Welcome to the Community Radio Network. Follow us always via social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports. Plus, listen to the new CRN 87.9 and still anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
This is Finish Line.
Welcome back to Finish Line. It is hour number 2. Hour number 1 is in the books. Look who was on the line via phone last week, and now you get to see what he looks like from Mechanicsville, Maryland. The Air Doug Barnes joins us. I think you're only one of 3 drivers in the 5-year history, Doug Barnes, of Finish Line to be on the week before and back-to-back after winning races. It's great to have you. And, man, I was so happy for you at Florence Saturday afternoon, by the way. What can you say about the efforts that everyone made with NASCAR, Flow Racing, Florence Motor Speedway to fight the weather and get the show in and get probably one of the biggest wins of your late model career, Doug?
You know, going in, I was a little bit mad, to be honest, because I was like, man, we're going to wind up being here till Monday. This is going to take forever. And then we get to the track in the morning. It looks like we got a chance to race. And, you know, sure enough, Steve and everybody, they just got it going. And that was the fastest late model event I've ever been a part of. Like, there was little to no call. I think there was like 2 or 3 cautions. We couldn't have been at the track longer than 5 hours, which is unheard of for late models, because normally you go there, you qualify, and you wait for 3 hours before you ever do anything. But I mean, obviously I'm thankful because we won the race. So, you know, you never know if that turns out to be a night race. If we put on a performance like that, the track would be a little bit different. You don't know if the car's going to handle the same, but I'm thankful for it.
But you know what, Doug, and I will say this. I hope that what we saw Sunday, or whether you watched on Flow Racing or if you were a part of in person, because let's be honest, fighting the weather gods, there was still a damn good crowd there on Saturday afternoon. There really was. I was impressed when I went down trackside for opening ceremonies and I saw so many butts that were in the seat, especially with fighting the weather that we were. But this has got to be an uplifting to let other tracks promoters know, Doug, that if you're fighting the weather, don't cancel. Don't try to pull the plug. Wait to see what happens and do your best to run a complete show. And that's exactly what Steve Zacharias and family and everybody did at NASCAR to literally make the race be successful. And I love the fact that you guys were still going to be second or third, but I love the fact that they made you guys first.
Yeah, they did a good job of treating it like a real event. I mean, being the most popular junior in the field, I expected there to be a lot of people in the stands. I just have that effect. And that other guy, Dale, brought some people out too, I think. I just forgot my merch trailer before I went off to the track. But I really appreciate still racing and stuff like that. But, I mean, it's great. Yeah, I hate there's a weird line, because when the weather looks like that, you almost prefer before you leave the house that it's canceled. But when you get it in, you're thankful it's not, because like going there, I didn't think we were going to race at all, to be honest. I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, I'm getting on a plane right now. I'm going to have to rebook my hotels, rebook the flights, going to have to pay for 2 full tanks of toter fuel, and whatever other expense it takes to get to the track next weekend, because I thought we would be going back down to South Carolina this weekend. But we're not, and we got a trophy sitting here, and we got a nice payday, and we got to have a fun race, and, you know, I'm thankful for that. So I'm thankful for them not quitting. But like I said, there's a fine line, because had it got rained out, I would have a different attitude right now.
Take the trophy down. Let's see what the trophy looks like, Doug. Let's see what the trophy looks like here.
Yeah,
let's see what the trophy is. Yeah.
I can't really.
That's awesome, man,
sick.
for sure.
I like it.
Are you a fan of the checks or the trophies? Because I know you got a big-ass check, too.
Oh, I love the checks. I was more mad about the Carteret deal because they took the check away. I didn't even care that, like, they took the trophy. I could have cared less about it. I like the checks. The checks are my favorite thing. I want to hang them up in my garage and have like a wall of checks, but I haven't been winning that much, so I gotta pick it up a little bit. But
I will say this, though, Doug. This win this past Saturday at Florence has got to be the perfect remedy of the good, the bad, and the ugly from last December at Carteret County, and to pick up the pieces, if you will, where you felt everything was great, but you literally proven to the racing community that you can win and that you can be competitive. I mean, let's be honest here. You didn't easily win that race. There were times when literally, you got passed. I mean, they were coming after you. Matt Cox was behind you. So was, of course, oh my mind, what's the other boy's name? They were all, I mean, it wasn't an easy win for you, is what I'm trying to say. You got past about, I don't know, right before halfway or after halfway. Was that the plan? Was the plan to try to save your tires and try to make a rally there? And was you surprised there was not as many cautions? That was one of the biggest things that I think the South Carolina 400 race got bashed on, was because of the race procedure and the way things went down. I thought it was a very, very well-timed, oiled machine on Saturday for your victory at Florence.
Yeah. Well, I fully expected more cautions at the end. I think we had a caution with like 15 to go, and I was like, yep, this is going to be the start of just caution. But, I mean, the race almost kind of was easy in a way, because the only difficult part in my eyes is I didn't know when somebody was going to make a charge at me. And Matt Cox had made a charge at me at the perfect time, and he caught me in between, like, I had nowhere to go. I was either just going to run through a lap car or give him the lead, and then I was going to see what I had. And I knew I had done a good job conserving tires, but like we had talked about, the rain we didn't know if that was going to play, any impact on the race at all. Like it might not be in the forecast, but if it rains for a minute, the track's soaked, and then we're either going home or we're drying the track again. And so we were racing for that. I think when the caution came out around like lap 40, I came over the radio. I'm like, we need to figure out right now whether or not we're racing for lap 75 or we're racing for lap 125. I said, we can't win them both. And I was wrong, because we led both laps. We led 75 and 125. And back to Matt, when he got around us, I was like, this is going to be a good test to see how much tire I've saved. And he was really running hard, and there's a lot of time left. And I was like, well, he's either going to keep running this pace, pull away and go win the race, or he's going to come back to me in the next 10, 15 laps. And sure enough, he came back to me in 8. So.
And I will say this, by the way, the other driver that I was thinking of was Connor Hall, the 77. And he got disqualified. He got DQ'd in post-race inspection. So that bumped up Matt Cox to second. Mason Diaz got third. And if people don't remember, Mason Diaz was quite entertaining at the South Carolina 400 at Florence last November, because he's the guy that stopped his car. They pissed him off. He got out of his race car, stood there looking at the flagman, stood there looking at the official, and walked away from his race car. And within good reason too, for sure. So Charles has got a question for you. Listen up for my producer in Texas. He's in my ear. He'll be in yours. Doug Barnes Jr. here on Finish Line.
So, I usually have my go-to question, and this one just kind of came to me after I saw him there, and he played with this trophy and showed it to us. But my thing is, it's a two-part question. One, is that a brand new computer behind you?
Yes, it is. I didn't even take the wrap.
Yes, that's the other thing that was triggering me. We got to get that plastic protecting screen off this thing. You got to peel it off, because it's just that sound of peeling it off. Everybody loves that.
I don't know if you could hear it through the AirPods.
Oh yeah, we can hear
it. He's unveiling his new toys on Finish Line. Was that part of the money that you got from Saturday? Is that what bought that?
No, this is the YouTube money. This is what makes the videos happen.
Hey, so let's talk about your YouTube show. Obviously, the Doug Barnes Show, the Air Doug Barnes. And where did that come about, and how popular that is, man? That's kind of how I really follow you during a weekly basis.
Well, back in 2019, I had bought a camera, and I was just big into YouTube. I just wanted to make vlogs. I didn't even know that I was going to become like a racing thing. But it's sitting right here. I had bought a camera, and I was like, I'll take it to the track once, and whatever, just go to the track, have some fun. I didn't do it the way that I did it like now. I didn't talk to the camera. We just filmed the race and filmed some stuff after. And the first time I ever took somebody to the track with me to like, hey, can you film my race? We got into a huge fight, and it was it was so entertaining. We were just straight carnage. It's one of the first videos I ever uploaded on my channel. I did like a story about the entire thing with me and Tyler Hughes back when we had our rivalry going, and I was like, this is gold, but I didn't do anything with it. And had I started then, my name would have just been Doug Barnes on YouTube. And then a year later, I jumped on Tyler Hughes' car. I got gifted the name Air Doug. And then the next year, I'm like, all right, I don't know what
You gonna
the
call me Air
sponsorship's going to
Doug?
look
I mean,
like
the
come
Air
next
Doug
year.
Barnes.
Yeah, the Air Doug. Going to put the capital THE in front of it. But we, I was like, we got to do something to try and draw in some more sponsors, get some attention looking at this. And I got lucky with the timing because I almost feel like the late model scene is growing in itself. And then that's helping my channel do better, Landon Huffman's channel do better. Anybody that has any sort of, content coming out of the late model scene, it's all doing better than it ever has before. And, a big help with that is obviously Junior buying the Cars Tour and racing alongside of us and stuff. So I got lucky with the timing.
It worked out perfectly. I mean, it sounds like it certainly did, for sure. And it took your name to another level. And I tell you, man, you got a great fan base. I mean, there's people that literally follow you through the world of social media, with your Facebook, but obviously with your YouTube channel, man. What can you say about just the work that you do? Okay, not as far as us doing radio shows or doing TV for Finish Line or iRacing broadcasts when LSRTV does them, but what work goes behind your production? I don't want you to give away all your secrets because I don't really care. But how much time do you go through doing what it takes to put out the product that you have?
It's a lot of work. The second we get to the track, I usually have somebody filming for me. Like I go between 4 or 5 different people, and I try and line them up so they can get consistent with it and have a couple weeks in a row. But I mean, at the track, it's like I qualified on the pole, and before I don't even think I gave an interview. I'm not sure if I was supposed to because I was back in the trailer trying to fix some things for the radio communications. I was focused on the video the second after I got the pole. We do the race, yada yada, do some outros, get home, and it's at least 40 hours of editing. It probably took me a little bit longer this week just because I had to learn an entire new software. I work alongside my buddy Ryan. He helps us do the thumbnails and stuff. It's just a lot of work outside of it. But it's honestly, because this is the first time that I've won in a long time, so I forgot what it felt like. It's amazing when you get to sit here and edit a video that you won. Do you know how much it sucks when you get wrecked for the win or DQ'd for the win, and then you got to sit there and edit hours and hours. You're just rewatching certain things. You're cutting stuff out. It's like, oh, well, this doesn't matter because I get thrown out 10 minutes later into the video. And it's a lot better experience when you win. So I'm gonna have to do this more often.
Yeah, a great example of that, and I'm not trying to poke the bear here, was the race at Carteret County Speedway, where you had the highs and the emotion of being the winner, and I'm down there with you, and we're doing TV, and all of a sudden you're like, well, here we are, but this all means nothing because I get disqualified, So, but you know how I feel about Carteret County. You know what I've said to you. I honestly think you need to go back there in November of next year and do like you did at Florence. Take them to the woodshed and just, kill them with kindness. And with kindness, I mean crossing that line first, being the winner of a race for sure. To answer your question about Pole Award presentations, I did have a Discount Landscape Incorporated Land Pole Award to present to you. I was supposed to interview you. However, we were told by NASCAR to bring everybody on the front straightaway except for Doug Barnes, keep him unbuckled in his car, have him come to the start-finish line. But I was understanding that when you already got to the front straightaway, you were already buckled up inside your car, had your helmet on, you were ready to go.
No.
So that's the reason why they took a picture of your car and said that this was the Pole Award winner. I was going to interview you, but then they said, let's just make it go quickly. They didn't even let me do driver introductions. I had a whole spiel of everybody's names and all that stuff. And they were like, Wesley,
I know you put all your damn time and effort into this, but we're ready to just drop the green flag and get this started. And I was like, hell, I agree with you. I don't want to do all this driver intro. Let's just get this race going. And got out there. I mean, listen, I think what we saw Saturday can prove a point that if you're under a stress-related situation, whether it's with weather or a possibility of fighting weather, Doug Barnes, that if everybody comes together and works as a team, you might have to condense the schedule, but if you all do your part, the drivers, the officials, the staff, the emergency crews, the announcers, the TV people, you can successfully get this race in for the fans. We started at 12:17. The green flag fell for your late model feature that you won by 2:25 Eastern time. The entire racing show was completed.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good show. And to touch on the pole award, I actually, if you watch the video that comes out on youtube.com/Doug tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern, you'll see I actually drove around to the front stretch unbuckled. I had heard you over the intercom. I got out of my car, and once I got out of my car, they told me to get back in. They said, we're not doing that. You just get back in. So I was walking on the front stretch, and I'm not sure if I think it was the flagman who was standing in front of the cars waving the flag. She's like, hey, Doug, they're not doing that no more. Just get back in the car. So then I got back in and got buckled up and everything.
So you were dedicated. You were ready to do what I told you to do, and I appreciate that for sure. Charles, you got another question for our buddy Doug Barnes Jr. before we wrap it up with him? We talk ARCA at Daytona next with Willie Mullins. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what would have happened. See, I got a bad streak of getting thrown out for dumb stuff. So last thing I need to do is walk down to the start-finish line and wind up starting 30th instead, and then I'm not on this show right now. But really, Florence and the people, they have always done a great job at making me feel like home. Like, that track is, like, I love Dominion. Dominion's my home track. But Florence has always felt like a second home, and I've only been there 5 times. There's not been a bad experience at Florence. I've always shown speed. I may not have always gotten the results I wanted, but, I mean, everybody's friendly. The officials, the tech members, everybody will come up, start talking to you out of nowhere. It's like, how you been, man? It's like, ain't seen you since February, ain't seen you since November. And you just strike up a 5-minute conversation with somebody it's like, you know, you haven't talked to in a while. And that's how everybody is at Florence. They're, with the exception of last November, every race has been strict to the point where you're in there, you're out of there. It's a great show, great turnout, stacked field always. Every event I've ever been there has been the best field in the country that weekend, 100%. And I really, and now they're bringing out Dale Jr. So who knows is gonna come back in November. It just seems like they can't find a way to make the event stronger, and then they do.
And you know what, Doug? And this is the thing. And you just mentioned it. We're waiting for Willie Mullins. He'll let me know whenever he's connected. So we'll stay with you for a few more minutes. One of the things that I will tell you on the show, and I told people this on Finish Line back in November, right before we finished up the season, about the South Carolina 400, is there were so many people that got on social media and they bashed NASCAR and they bashed the Zachariases and they bashed the track and they bashed Shane Laws. But what they don't realize is there was so many things that were going on in that race logistically. And I know for a fact, because not only was I on the PA broadcast call, I was also the NASCAR events coordinator. So I'm like right beside Kevin Neveline, Les Westerfield, Justin Brooks, Shane Laws, right in with NASCAR, watching all of this transpire. There were radios that died. There were yellow flags that were thrown that the tower did not call for, that the flagman did on his own. And I got nothing but love for John Spence. I got nothing but love for him. I'm not bashing him. But there were things that happened at that race that people don't understand, or they're not being in credit to knowing of when that stuff takes place, and then makes it look like it's a S show. I'm not going to say what that word S is, but you can kind of read between the lines. And then people get on social media, Doug, and they bash the drivers, and they bash the track, and they bash NASCAR. And there's a reason behind all of the things that led to that nightmare taking place the way it did.
Yeah, I mean, they don't care. They're not there. They're not standing in the cold. They don't realize it's worse for all of us. The drivers, we're sweating, our what's off, and everybody is standing there in the freezing cold. Everybody wanted to get that show over with. But the thing is, the reason I just look at it and brush it off is because if it doesn't matter what local track. If you have a local track that races 15 late model races a year, and you as a fan go to all 15 races, that something like that is going to happen at least once a year. I've never had a season where there's been a race where everything went according to plan. Radios die, communication goes bad, scoring goes down. It happens. People are human, and this is some just technical stuff. And especially in Florence, when you're in the middle of nowhere, I don't think we got the Apple tech support to come out and help us. So we, you're screwed sometimes, and you just got to do with what you can. And we're not racing right now. The race ended.
Be damn lucky that you can broadcast out there. Ask Charles. Charles, logistically, it was a nightmare. Remember when we done the qualifying pill draw show and everything else that we did with Finish Line at the South Carolina 400? Flow Racing literally had to use like 4 or 5 of them live view boxes to send a link up to the satellite. I'm looking up in the air. But without that, we wouldn't be able to broadcast, because you're exactly right, Doug Barnes. There is literally no signal in that area in Timminsville, South Carolina.
I'll tell you this, the strongest signal at Florence was when Wesley was yelling at Terry across the track to get his butt over on the other side of the track. That was the strongest signal we had all weekend.
Yes. So, Hey, Doug, what do you do this year, man? Where do you go from here, bud? I mean, I know you got to be on cloud 9. It's got to be a big momentum booster for you to be in victory lane for the big icebreaker. But what's the plans for 2023 now for you in your late model career?
So I'm waiting on my new car to get done. I should have a brand new car in the next couple of weeks. So I'm thinking about probably turning that car into our main Dominion Raceway car. So we'll run for the championship there like we normally do, and that should be a good 2022 races. I'm going to Hickory on the 4th, the 11th, and then another race at the end of the month. So we got a lot of races there. And then we're just going to travel, man. I just like going wherever. So wherever the fundings will take us is where we're going to go. So sponsors want to go run somewhere one weekend, and you know what? We'll be there.
So, Cars Tour, we're going to see you run Southern National March 11th. Are you going to – hey, I got to ask you this question, and I would be hard-pressed to not ask it, because I'm going to be the Flow Racing play-by-play voice of it. The Solid Rock Carriers Battle of the Stars. $20,000 to win at New River All-American Speedway, formerly known as Goodyear All-American, formerly known as Coastal Plains in Jacksonville. Are you considering making the trip for running for that race?
So Anthony had actually called me, was it last week, 2 weeks ago or something like that. But I think I have a race on Hickory there, because honestly, my biggest goal in late models, I've always raced among people that have done it and always been competitive with them. And I just always told myself, I'm like, if I can start clicking off the wins and I can put myself in position to do this, I want to run for a national championship. So the purse is great and everything like that. But if I have the opportunity to go race somewhere like 2 times in one night, then I have to do that. And, I really that would be the big goal, but that's a goal that I don't think you can really look seriously at until we get to like May. Like say we get to May and we got 5 or 6 wins by that point, then it's a realistic thing that we could potentially go for. But as of right now, I want to, keep it in my sight line, but not fully commit to it financially and everything else like that. So I don't really. When was the date for that? I think it lines up with a Hickory race.
I thought is it March 4th? March 3rd and 4th is the Battle of the Stars. And I think Hickory did change their date around. And by the way, that's what Hickory did last November. And I don't mean to say that I'm mad here on Finish Line about it, but I mean, I kind of find that it's messed up to do that to one track, to do it to another track. I get it. I understand, like, for instance, I think the excuse was we've ran out of tires. We don't have any tires available. Okay. But with that being said, what your date is what your date is. And in my opinion, changing it and competing against someone else and taking their show away, I think was kind of I don't want to say that Kevin Piercy did it intentionally, because honestly, Doug, I don't think he was thinking about, New River All-American Speedway all the way on the other side of the Carolina coast, or the consequences, effects that would happen for doing that. But what happened is what happened, and, it is what it is, and we build on, and hopefully we have a good field of late model cars. I in my opinion, for 20,000 to win, I think that would be a great turnout. But I don't know. I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's about the money anymore, Doug. I really don't know if it's about racing for money anymore. You point blank said you want the trophy, you want the big check, and obviously people know that racing's expensive. You might have won $5,000, but how much money did the team really make after racing all weekend?
Not much.
Right.
I mean, you pay everybody in cash. This probably covered the tires and the toter fuel. So, it's better than nothing, but it's not really. It makes a dent. It makes a nice dent, but still the races where we're about to come up on the weekly races where you might win 1,100 to win both races in the same night, not $5,000 for winning one. And I think I was kind of listening into what y'all were talking about like drawing people into the scene and stuff like that. And I think if there's potential for this to happen in the next couple of years, I fully see it. And I'm not just being like a believer because I'm in the scene, but with Dale Jr. coming into the scene and Kevin Harvick coming into the scene, and who knows who else is going to come in, they could bring massive sponsorship behind them. And if you start throwing in some races like they got in dirt, and we have a $100,000 race at the end of the year, that might set the tone for 2024. Like we just had a $50,000 race, a Southern National. That was unheard of
National,
3 years ago. So who knows what's going to be unheard of next year? So
yeah. Well, definitely. Well, listen, Doug, congratulations for winning the race. Before I let you go and we get Willie Mullins on the line, I want you to thank your sponsors, and I'll look forward to seeing you wherever I see you next in the air. Doug Barnes, Ferrari. Wesley only follow the Ferraris.
The Ferraris. So I just want to give a shout out to Barnes Paving and Hardy Boy Consulting. And then also, if you're interested in seeing a behind-the-scenes vlog, it'll be up tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com/AirDoug, or if you just type in AirDoug on YouTube, it'll come up. And yeah, so let's hopefully Willie will go get the job done at Daytona. It'll be a good week for the Dominion guys.
Well, you've got about 3 hours before your launch, so you can take some of this video editing from Finish Line and put it on the post-wrap show if you want to, buddy. We give you permission to do that.
That video's been done since last night, and I don't even want to think about editing until next week.
I got you, brother. Well, listen, Air Doug Barnes, it's great having you on Finish Line. Look forward to seeing you wherever you race at next, and so happy you won the icebreaker at Florence.
Yes, sir. Nice talking to y'all.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Air Doug Barnes from Maryland, and now we go to somewhere in Virginia. And Willie Mullins is in the house, thanks to him and Dina Mullins. And, okay, so here's the deal. If you remember, back in January, we had Willie Mullins and the Mullins Racing Team on to promote ARCA testing at Daytona. We didn't really get to talk to Willie that much. We talked to Landon Huffman. We got to talk to Kayla Searles, Brayton Laster. But now we actually get to talk to Willie. And Big Willie and the crew are packed. Are y'all on the way to Daytona, Willie? Right now?
We're actually here. We're at credentials, getting ready to get signed in for tomorrow, and so we're close to ready to do our deal for tomorrow.
So what is the schedule? Because obviously, I will tell you this, and I know it's been on the Denny Hamlin podcast, and some other people have talked about it, and I kind of hinted on it the last couple of weeks. Willie, people are furious that the NASCAR Cup Series drivers are not getting a chance to practice before qualifying tonight.
Those guys straight qualifying. So much more. Say 20-minute practice or something like that. It's crazy. We at least get 45 minutes tomorrow. At the end of the day. It's just crazy what NASCAR has done to condense the speed weeks into speed days, is what I've heard it called.
And here's the deal, Willie. I understand the reason of wanting to condense the schedule. I understand the reason of wanting to make it where it's not so cost effective. But you got to practice. You got to practice. Everybody's got to practice. And ARCA, what is ARCA getting? Did I see the schedule? You get like a 30-minute practice session before you qualify Friday? Is that what it is?
Right. We get tech all day tomorrow. We get 5-minute practice tomorrow. We come for a little for qualifying, and then we race Saturday. So it's really but it helps cost, I guess, is what they're looking to do, and they're trying to tighten the show up here, so it helps cut costs a little bit for everybody.
Well, I got to ask you this question, my friend. How do you feel after the ARCA test session of going down to Daytona, and are you confident that the Willie Mullins racing teams, Big Willie, will be ready to do well? I know that is with you and Brayton Laster in the car for your race team this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We got two great cars coming down here. I'd be disappointed if both cars don't qualify in the top 10. We'll see what happens there. Different qualifying. This pack qualifying. You can have a car there, or you can have somebody get side by side with. It kind of kills the group. We've had a single thing happen to us where we've wrecked on pit road here. We've wrecked, out on the track. It's so many things it's just a crapshoot. I'm going to say we're going to have a top 10 qualifying shoot, but, we can finish 24th or 25th like we did 3 years ago.
It should be exciting, of course. The General Tire or Lucas Oil 200 will be, of course, at Daytona Saturday afternoon. Now, that is part of the doubleheader on Saturday at the World Center of Racing, where the ARCA Series will be racing first, and then the NASCAR Xfinity Series Beef It's What's for Dinner 300 will be in the afternoon. That will finish under the lights. Willie, what is the atmosphere like at Daytona on Wednesday afternoon, February 15th?
Right now it's kind of relaxed. The truck and trailer's getting washed. The rest of the crew is over there in credentials getting signed in right now as we talk. So it's a little relaxed. We're going to go out to dinner here in a little while, get everybody kind of tuned up for tomorrow, go over schedules, go over plans tonight at dinner, and then we're going to go execute tomorrow, go through tech and get practice in.
Definitely. Now, Willie, is the plan for you and the race team this year to run a full ARCA Menard Series title? Are you going to try to run for a championship this 2022 season, bud?
No, right now we just don't have the funding to do that. We'll probably run 5 to 10 races is what our plan is. We're going to have multiple drivers in the car, so we're looking forward to that. So we're looking to have fun. That's our main goal here in the ARCA Series, and go execute and try to get a win or two.
Hey, listen up in Texas. My producer, Charles, has got a question for you, Willie Mullins, here on Finish Line from Daytona.
I had to get this in. We do have our next guest, but I wanted to ask this one since we're talking about this whole beef thing. We talked about this earlier, Wesley. I want to know, is it just feel ironic to drivers out there going to race in a race or being at a race that's all about, eat more beef? And let's be frank, the economy is not the greatest, and beef is expensive. It's hard to go get a steak that's like $30 at Walmart now, and then we got a race being sponsored by beef. It seems ironic to me.
It's one of those things. We're trying to promote everybody's business, and we have a great platform series in NASCAR, and we're here to make sure it gets their message across. So whatever we got to do to help them, and we're always going to be here to do that.
Hey, Willie, I got to say this, though. It's different not having the ARCA Menard Series East or West or the National Series at New Smyrna like it's been for probably the last, 10 years?
Yep, something like that. I didn't hear all your question, but unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to go over there and run this year. So we're looking to go perform over here on the big show at Daytona.
So listen, Willie, I'm going to let you go, buddy. I know we're understanding we're having some connectivity issues with you, but I want to spend a couple of more minutes with you, though. What is your
Sure.
take of all the drivers that you had practicing with you, Brayton Laster, Landon Huffman, Kayla Searles? What was the decision to put Brayton with you in the car for Big Willie Racing down at Daytona for the race this Saturday?
Well, it's a great question. It comes down to a couple different things. It came down to him having good sponsors to come back with us this year to help us be able to put a good foot forward for this race. So that was the main deciding goal, but also to work with him for a second year here at Daytona. The kid's trying to learn. He's trying to grow his brand. He's good on Twitter and social media aspects. So we're here to work with him. But the other drivers, you're going to see some of them at short tracks this year. You're going to see them maybe at Talladega with us. So all these drivers are going to fit into Mullins Racing over the next year, and we're going to see them out with us at some short tracks and some other local races too.
And can I say this? You're not just going to be like a start and park program either. I know there's some ARCA teams that do that where they just start and park and get money and points and then they pack up and leave. You're literally going to let these drivers like yourself race, compete, have a chance to try to win at Daytona, Talladega, Charlotte, wherever ARCA goes this year.
Absolutely. If you see our race cars at the track, those cars will run the full race unless we have a mechanical issue or a crash. We don't come to a track without running 110%. So that's what we're here to do. We're excited to be here at Daytona for, I think, the 9th year, and we're going to be here to hopefully run the full race with me and Brayton Laster.
All right, well, Willie, listen, buddy, we'll let you go. Before I do let you go, I want you to thank your sponsors. Thanks for being on Finish Line. Be safe and have fun at Daytona. By the way, the General Tire Lucas Oil 200 for the ARCA Menard Series is Saturday afternoon. It will be live on FS1 as Fox Sports FS1 has all of the rights to every ARCA event this 2023 season, and the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR, will also have radio coverage of the ARCA race at Daytona. Willie, thanks for being on Finish Line today, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you for being on here. And, I would like to thank CorvetteParts.net, Bugsy's Auto Repair, Crowing Recycling, and Campers RV is a new sponsor for us this year. We have an RV in the infield supplying us, so it's been great.
Well, listen, answer that phone call. Somebody's calling you.
It's wild down here we're trying to get everybody off airplanes and get everybody down here into credentials and getting the truck washed right now. It's just wild right now. So sorry about people cutting in on our little interview here, but it's been great. And I hopefully can do a winner's interview later on this weekend.
Certainly, man. Thank you so much. Be safe. Have fun. Ladies and gentlemen, there's Willie Mullins at the Daytona International Speedway getting ready for the ARCA Menard Series event here, taking the time to be on Finish Line. One more guest remains, and we are going to now chat drag racing and NASCAR and more. Fabian Brown, you better go sit down somewhere, brother. You just getting all hyped up, standing around, jumping.
I'm already sitting.
Got this whole caveman thing going on for you now, brother. What's going on? They got to get you out of hibernation for the winter.
Yeah, I'm actually headed to South Georgia Motorsports Park next week for the it's a Radio Outlaw Series event. Doug X Productions there at SGMP, so that's gotta keep it going at least for the winter. So, but it's this is going away today. So,
well, listen, it's great to have you back on Finish Line, Fabian, man. It's always good to talk drag racing with you. And I know as much as everybody is hyped up and excited about Daytona and NASCAR and ARCA and the trucks and Xfinity and Speed Weeks in general, I know that also a lot of people are excited about Straight Line Go Fast, and drag racing is getting ready to fire up. There is a lot of different things that are on the horizon for the world of drag racing too. And who better than my announcing guru, Straight Line friend, Fabian Brown, to talk about it here on Finish Line?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, NHRA, they're doing something new this year. They're starting the Camera World Series in Gainesville at the Gator Nationals next month. They already have a divisional. They had a divisional race in Orlando recently, so they're starting off divisional stuff, and then they're going, with the big show in March. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's this Brittany Force winning her second championship last year for an HRA. Ron Capps going back to back as a team owner, and just a lot of things going on, in drag racing. And definitely props to the folks down at Rockingham Dragway down your neck of the woods, North Carolina. They're doing a complete repave of the
Yes.
facility, and I mean, it's going to look phenomenal. And definitely want to wish Steve Earwood happy retirement for what he's done for the sport. And I mean, it's just an exciting time to be in drag racing right now, for sure.
Yeah, it certainly is, buddy. And I'll tell you what, I'm looking at some more of the information, and one of the things that I really wanted to get your thoughts about, is in regards of the new WDRA, the World Drag Racing Alliance. Can you give us some more emphasis on that? And one of the biggest reasons that it's on my brain is they just announced yesterday that they are pulling the plug on the 2022 WDRA bracket finals that was supposed to have been last October. It has now been postponed, canceled for this weekend because, let's be honest, the weather looks kind of iffy, and I guess they don't want to try to fight like Florence did. They just went ahead and pulled the plug, and the bracket finals will not happen this year. The Summit Racing Sportsman Drag Racing Series will not happen this year. However, they did announce that the World Championships are coming back. Date to be announced, track to be announced, obviously. Darlington Dragway, correction, is going to be the place that's having this. The reason why I want to ask you about all this is, what happened? What is this WDRA? And the people in drag racing really need to take a look at this entity for years to come, you're thinking, Fabian?
Yeah, basically what it is that tracks got together, and that there was a change in management on the other side, on the other sanction that was out there with IHRA, and some tracks got together that and they want to give back to the sportsman racing, because whether it be NASCAR weekly division, or World of Outlaws, or whatever, sportsman racing is the backbone of it. The guys and gals that do their 9 to 5 job during the week, then they go to the racetrack. So that series was brought about. My home track, Maryland National Raceway, is sanctioned by DRA, as are a few more tracks, including Darlington.
Sure.
Jeff Miles taking over ownership there, doing a phenomenal job down there at Darlington. It's just basically, it's a sportsman, fed, series, that wants to give back to the sportsman racers.
So, is IHRA bankrupt? Are they out of business? Are they still around? Or is there a feud going on? What's the deal here?
IHRA is still around. Larry Jeffers, who owns Larry Jeffers race cars out there in Missouri, he took over ownership of it middle of last year, and IHRA is still around. I know a lot of the folks that that I worked with. A couple of folks I worked with at IHRA have gone over to WDRA,
Sure.
and including, like I said, my old division director Josh Peak and John O'Neill have joined in. So it's. It's definitely. We want to make sure racers have choices. So. Yeah, I know some folks are going to stick with IHRA. Some may come over to WDRA, and that's fine. We just want racers to be able to race. At least I just want to see racers be able to race, and that is the goal of it. Just like with NASCAR, they want their racers to race. Which, by the way, I have to give you my picks for Daytona in the season. See champion coming up. But I'm excited just to see what is going to happen, this year, not with just sports and drag race and the weekly stuff, but drag racing abroad. Australia, they're racing down there now, and they fans are loving it there, and I'm just excited to see what 2023 is going to bring.
I mean, I got to say this. I mean, is there? I take it back. I don't want to say the word feud, but basically, am I understanding Failed Motorsports, Failed Entertainment, who does IHRA or used to do IHRA, used to do Munster Jam. Well, they still do Munster Jam, but all the things that was a part of it, they booted IHRA. They said, okay, we're not doing IHRA anymore. Larry Jeffers buys IHRA. What was the split? What was the reason of now doing the WDRA? Is IHRA going back to now a national pro-am type deal again? Are they doing more national big shows with the flame fire trucks and, you know, the jet funny cars and all the things like that, but where it was kind of like an entertainment program more based than a bracket show when me and you've announced those events together?
Right. Well, actually, Feld Entertainment, actually, IRG Sports and Entertainment, which was based out of Palm Beach, they actually took over IHRA ownership. I want to say it was towards the end of 2013, 2014, I believe it was, and then they sold it to Larry Jeffers in middle last year. So I'm not sure exactly the whole details of it, but you know, and I know Larry and his team, they do have a vision of where they want, you know, IHRA to go, and as WDRA has the same thing. So I definitely want to do wish IHRA the best, that sort of thing, and but with WDRA coming in, and of course, NHRA, they're still, they're still there as well. So like I say, it's just that, like you said, exciting time for racing. So I'm not too particular on the details of what exactly happened. I just kind of caught wind of it when everybody else did. So I'm like, oh, okay.
I got you. Well, I don't want to get you in trouble, but I do want to say this, though, man. It sounds like, and Charles has got a question here in a minute. We'll ask that, but I just want to ad-lib on this. It sounds like there's too many roosters in the drag racing hen house. And this is what's happening. I don't want to say that that's a bad thing, but it sounds like maybe for the first time, bracket drivers, racers, they've got a choice of who they want to run with.
Right, and I think that's what it's all about. Racers having a choice. So, they're not saying, okay, we can only race here. Say, I can go maybe race here, then race here. They have different options that are out there.
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm definitely see where it's going. For this year. So, like I said, WDR, they on their website, they have like all their tracks that are doing the their different bracket programs, and then going to like Darlington for the World Finals. I believe it's in October. Which for folks that don't know, literally Darlington Dragway is literally probably about 6 miles or so, give or take, down the street from Darlington Raceway. Literally, they're just
not even that
from each
not
other.
even that, buddy. It's not even 2 miles. It's 2 miles, if 2 miles from Darlington Raceway, from the NASCAR track. Yeah,
right.
I mean, you can literally see the
right there.
You can. I was telling somebody this last September. You can literally. I was at Darlington. You can literally stand up on the top of the tower at Darlington Raceway and look to the west end of the speedway in turn 3 and 4. And you can see the highway line, and you can just see a little glimpse of the double tower that is at the drag strip at Darlington Dragway. It's like literally 2 miles from each other.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Right they're just literally off of 95 and go down through it a little bit. But
yep.
And also there's out in the Midwest, like in Mississippi, Gulfport, Dragway, they're doing good things out there, and of course down in the South, like I said, with Jeff Miles taking over ownership of Darlington Dragway. He was at Carolina Dragway, did a great job there, and now I'm excited to see what he can do with a legendary dragster like Darlington that has created some of the most iconic moments, some of the most iconic moments in our sport. So it's definitely I'm looking forward to 2023.
Fabian, who were what were their names? They're not running it no more at Darlington?
No, the Russell Dede Miller. No, they sold it. I believe at some point last year to to Jeff Miles. So Jeff Miles is the owner and general manager of Darlington. I'm not sure when that happened, but at some point last year.
Wow. So, listen, Charles has got a question for you. Listen up, and we're going to go into NHRA drag racing coming up here next as well. What you got, Charles?
My question is for you, because your intro actually says, "Oh, well, it's racing. This, all types of racing." So I saw this on his shirt. So I want to know. I know what 1320 is, but do you know what 1320 stands for, Wesley?
Can you lift the shirt up like I'm promoting the Daytona 500? What is it?
It says 1320 on there, Wesley. What does that number signify?
This is
the 1320. Ain't it something to do with the tires?
No, that's how many feet there are in a quarter mile.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I got to stump Wesley on his own show.
Yeah, 1,320 feet, right?
Yeah.
Ain't it 1,320 feet in a quarter mile?
That's correct.
I stumped him on his own show. I'm a successful day.
You did not.
Yeah, I did. No, you said it. No, I got Fabian here as a witness. You said it had something to do with tires.
Normally there is drag racing series that have stuff to do with tires and radials and stuff, but you bite my ass, Charles. Okay, he did. Man. He got me. People, for those that are watching or listening on Finish Line, damn it, you got me, okay, Charles? You got me. He stumped me. He got me. No. 1,320 feet is a quarter mile distance in drag racing. For sure. So, Fabian, NHRA, I know you're going to be announcing NHRA again this year, man. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Definitely looking forward to doing some, divisional stuff, this year, which is like, the Lucas Oil Drag Race here, which is, Sportsman series. There's 7 divisions within NHRA, and where I currently live is Division 1. Like Division 2 is, the Southeast, and you have Division 3, which is like Indiana, Ohio. Then Division 4 is like the South, and then like I said, there's 7 divisions. I'm excited to see. Don't know all my plans just yet, but I'm excited to do some sportsman racing this year, and I'm excited for the 3rd year in a row. Going to NASCAR is to go to the Coke 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Coming up Memorial Day weekend.
We have got to meet up together this year. Somehow, some way, we have got to put our calendar with one another where we can literally put our schedules intertwined with one another and find a time to meet, go grab dinner, hang out somewhere at the racetrack, because there's only, literally the last 2 years I've been at Charlotte. And you were there, but we were like passing dubs. I'm doing my thing and I'm going down to the media center and you're doing other stuff and everything else. So, but I would be hard pressed to say, I got to ask you this question. What is it like to work with Alan Reinhart and with Joe Costello? Obviously, Alan Reinhart is like the Bob Fry of my generation when I was a kid, listening to drag racing announcers. Or of course, what is he meant to you in your career? Kind of like what Ken Squire or working with somebody of that caliber has meant to me, announcing races, working with them.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Alan Reinhart and Joe Costello, they both have been like huge parts of my career. Because actually, when I did my first national event in Atlanta, 2019. Alan, took me out to dinner that night, and we just talked about different things, and just getting to learn from him, and learning from Joe, and they are absolutely phenomenal people to work with, and with Brian Loans, the lead voice of NHRA on Fox. Just learning from them is it's great, especially like with something I learned from Brian is that there are times I go back. And watch a race. Okay, I may watch a race I did like, I could have done that better. So it's kind of trying to learn, from every race that you do, which I'm sure I'm sure you do that, and most of the great announcers do that.
I'm my own worst critic.
It's definitely that's definitely the it, and sometimes you are your own worst critic. But working with Alan and Joe, it's a true blessing, and I'm very honored that they've passed on some of their knowledge to me.
For sure, definitely. Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, drag racing, who is going to be some drivers do you think we're going to follow this year in the world of NHRA. Obviously, does it start Pomona? Is it this weekend? It is this weekend, isn't it?
It's actually starting in Gainesville this year. So down in Gainesville, and then they're going west to. I think it's called In-N-Out Burger Pomona Drag Strip now. So they're going out Pomona and then Vegas, and then also Wild Horse Path, which is Phoenix. So they're starting Gainesville, then they're going west, and they're coming back.
Is the Gator Nationals this weekend?
It's actually in not this week. I think it's 3 weeks.
Okay.
3 weeks from now is, I believe, Gator Nationals.
So could you say that NHRA is are they condensing their schedule this year, Fabian, for the national level, or are they making it more further later on in the year to finish?
Well, I mean, they're not really condensing. I think what they're doing is, like with NASCAR, they're trying to see where can they help save the team's money. Because, if you start at Gainesville and then you have 3 straight West Coast races, so the team's going to have to go, because it started Pomona, then they went to, I believe they went to Phoenix, then they went to Gainesville, then back to Vegas, which is a couple, long, cross-country trips.
Some traveling.
So they're started Gainesville, then they're going for 3 races, out in west, and then they're going back to Chicago, Route 66, this year. So they're just, I believe they're just doing something a little different, starting at Gainesville, which I believe they did in 2021. I believe they did that as just coming out of the COVID year. So I think it's just something that they're looking at ways to try to help the teams out a little bit.
Final question, and I'm going to let you go. Obviously, it's always great having you here on the program, and we're going to talk about NASCAR. I got to ask you this question. Do you think NASCAR got it wrong not letting America's best America's best stock car drivers in the world practice before qualifying tonight, or do you think that they don't need practice to qualify for 2 laps?
And actually, Denny Hamlin, when he spoke on that as, so him speaking as both a driver and an owner, I was kind of surprised by that. Okay, there's no practice before qualifying. Because, Hendrick Motorsports, they've been on the front row, I believe, the last 5 straight Daytona 500. So I think there's good and bad with it. Good saying, okay, you unload off the trailer, go for a timed lap, and then see what you got. But bad being, okay, the teams don't have a chance to get the cars, dialed in, that sort of thing. So you pretty much got to go with what you got and, hope for the best in the the dual races. But I'm going to go ahead and give you my pole sitter, my 500 winner, and my champion for this year. Pole sitter. I don't know why, but I got to go with Ryan Blaney for the pole tonight.
He struggled, though, in qualifying for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, he has, but definitely Ryan Blaney, I think, is pretty much a champion waiting to happen. My 500 winner. I'm a big Chase Elliott fan. I'm definitely a big Chase Elliott fan, so I got to go with Chase to win the 500. And my champion this year.
You got 38 weeks now, okay? It's a long way till November.
But my champion this year, I gotta go with Chase again. Because like I said, he had the most wins last year. Though he got that one in Pocono because the front 2, he got disqualified. So, but definitely, Ryan Blaney won the pole tonight. As far as the dual races go, you just got to see, how it shakes out.
That's a crapshoot. Yeah, I'm not even going to ask you for that.
It is. And then for the truck race, I want to see Haley Deegan do well. She's in a Thor Sport, top-notch equipment, so I think she'll do well. But it's pretty much everybody chasing Zane Smith over there in the truck series. The Xfinity series, that's going to be definitely interesting. But for the Cup series, going to go Blaney on the pole, Chase to win the 500, and Chase going to win the championship and finish second this year. Martin Truex to have a bounce back year. Martin Truex have a bounce back year.
Well, I keep looking up because I feel like the green screen's going to fall on me again.
No,
yeah,
don't
there
do
it goes.
that.
It just fell off its spring there. I got to make an adjustment here when we get off the air. Charles, I know time is short. Who is your pick to win the Who's your pick to win the 500?
I'm gonna go on the record right now. If Harvick doesn't win it in his final season, the whole thing's rigged.
Wait a minute. Kevin Harvick has won the Daytona 500 though before.
No, I'm
He
saying
won it in
he has to
2007.
win the Daytona 500 and every race and the championship is.
Oh, you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. In a season that had 19 winners last year. Wow. Oh, by the way, breaking news. This is literally breaking news from NASCAR. Trackhouse Racing announces multi-year contract extension for Daniel Suarez, obviously. We already knew, and I called you on this one, Fabian, remember?
You got me with
Fabian
Bowman.
told me a week ago, this thing is falling on me again. Fabian told me the other week ago that, yeah, oh, there you go. Okay, that'll work. Fabian told me that he's like, William Byron's going to, if William Byron's the dog horse, he's going to run off somewhere. Alex Bowman, not William Byron, Alex Bowman. And obviously, Alex Bowman and Ally announced that they're doing a new multi-year contract with Hendrick Motorsports. So that idea is out the window. So, but I will say this, though, in closing, though, Fabian, I will say this, though, in closing, and we got to get off the air here. I just, NASCAR, what the hell color happened to me? What are you doing to me? You're changing my colors? Is that Charles is trying to make me look like a Oompa Loompa, like the Super Bowl. It's all in fun. Okay, I want to throw up a bird, but I'm not going to do it. I will say this though, Fabian. Damn it, Charles, you made me lose my place. These contract extensions, they're only 2-3 year deals now, Fabian. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that race teams are not trying to give drivers like, obviously, Earnhardt Jr. back in the day, or Jeff Gordon, or Jimmy Johnson, Mark Martin, Kevin Harvick, even Tony Stewart, guys that are literally retired or not into the sport or retiring soon, multi-long contracts? It's literally 2-3 years or less, and that's it.
I think what it is that because they have that win, they want the sponsors to have that win now mentality. Said they want to win now. For example, with Trackhouse coming in, and with Ross Chastain, coming in winning a couple races. Daniel Suarez, they want to have that win now, mentality. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just after. If a driver doesn't deliver his first year or two, they're thinking, okay, do we really want to invest, in like billions and millions of dollars? Which, by the way, Wes, I'm going to test you and Charles on this one. See what iconic event.
Got to make it quick. We're coming up on the hour. We're past the hour, actually.
25 years ago today. What happened 25 years ago today?
In NASCAR?
You should know this. Yes, in NASCAR, 25 years ago today.
25 years ago today.
To the day.
What is today, by the way? Wednesday the 15th, right?
No. 25 years ago today, Dale Earnhardt won the Daytona 500.
That's right. His one and only.
The 40th running of the Daytona 500. He won it at Daytona. Yes.
Come to the caution flag.
Yep.
But thanks for having me on the show today. Appreciate it. And and by the way, your Bubba Wallace is going to win a duel, and as well.
Oh, come on, we're not talking about duels. Bubba Wallace, and Kyle Larson. Okay, so duels. I get to give my pick because Charles just kind of threw us for a loop. He's like, I don't even care. My pick for the poll tonight. I'm gonna shock everybody.
Uh-oh.
Ryan Preece is going to be on the poll.
That's
tonight.
a good one.
At Daytona. I'm telling you, watch it. You heard it here first on Finish Line. Ryan Preece on the pole for Daytona. The winner of the Daytona 500, my pick to win the Daytona 500, Kyle Busch with Richard Childress
RCR.
Racing. I'm picking Kyle Busch to win, and for the championship at the end of the year, the man that will be the hoist of the championship, and I'm going to surprise everybody when I say this, but I think it's really going to happen. You ready for this one?
I think I know who it is.
Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain will be the NASCAR Cup Series champion at the end of the year. You heard it here first. They banned the Hail Melon, but they didn't ban the driver altogether, okay?
No.
Fabian, love you, brother. Appreciate our friendship. I got to get you down here somewhere to flag a race. I know you tagged me in something the other day about flagging. I don't have nothing to do with flagging, but
I'm sure you got
definitely
something.
I'll put your name into somebody. So, yes.
Thank you, Wesley. Appreciate it.
I saw a picture of you the other day where you were literally waving a checkered flag at a drag strip, and I'm like, this guy's got it bad.
That was at Brainerd this past year.
Oh, so. Well, buddy, thanks for being on Finish Line, man. It's always a pleasure, Fabian. You take care. We'll be in touch soon.
Appreciate it, Wesley. Thank you.
There you go. Well, you got your picks for Daytona. You got your chats about drag racing. I've been attacked by a green screen twice today. And, Charles, we get to bring this one onto the house, buddy.
Yes. I'm going to bring it to the kitchen. I'm starving.
I am too. Are you buying lunch?
No. Well, you can't see what's sitting next to me, so.
What's on the menu for lunch? What door dashed to your front door?
Oh, a bag of Lay's potato chips.
Okay, well, listen, I've got Lay's potato chips, sour cream, and onion.
I can't get them up the camera. Get out of the way. Okay, they're out of the way.
Charles, man, another great Finish Line show, buddy. Thank you, Cousin It, for being on the program. Virtual
Cousin It did make an appearance. He needs to make an appearance today.
Better. Hey,
me too.
Charles, can we say in closing, though, buddy, we're looking forward to a new season of the Northwest Racing Series. What, start next week? 2 weeks? 2 weeks from Monday night?
27th of March and 27th of February and the 1st of March. We kick it back off.
Yes. And if you are a fan of the Northwest Racing Series, which is season 10, on season 10 of iRacing on LSRTV and on the Community Radio Network, there will be now the Truck Series on Monday night. Am I right, Charles? The trucks will be on Monday night. And then there will be an Xfinity Series split with about 5 weeks of dirt racing and 5 weeks of road course racing in the summertime. And then they come back and finish out with the Xfinity Series championship. And that will be for the Northwest on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I just need announcers. I put in there, Wesley. You haven't.
For what? If I'm the voice of the Northwest Racing Series, I'm going to do the whole schedule. You're not going to bump me from doing the road courses and dirt.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to do the road courses.
What the hell?
Hey, you're on it.
I'm going to do the Northwest, right?
Well, I didn't know if you were the voice of road racing.
The voice of... If it's Northwest, it's Northwest, okay?
Oh, good.
And we're looking forward to it for sure. So I don't think we got anything scheduled for iRacing on LSRTV this week, is there?
No, we have the podcast Sunday the 19th.
Sunday?
And then the next race is the 22nd. And then after that, we go full swing again.
Right back at the grind again, for sure. Thank you so much again, as always, to Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, our cohort, as well as the man that runs the video, okay? Without that man right there, without the monkey man with the hair, we would not. There we go. That's right. It would just be, or it would be the green screen falling on me, or him changing colors of my face while we're live on the air, like he's been doing. You know? Yes, you did. You made me dark. You made me light. You made me green, red. Well, there you go again. There's nothing wrong with your television. Hey, thanks to all of our guests on the program today, including Parker Retzlaff, as well as the Air Doug Barnes. Thanks also to Willie Mullins, as well as Fabian Brown. We'll get Josh Way on another time. We'll also get Ronnie Silk on another time when he's available. And that's it. Archives will be up in a bit on all of your podcast outlets and replays, thanks to Fox Sports Radio in the Carolinas, Community Radio Network, iHeartRadio Sports, #Finish Line. And, of course, it is thanks to our sponsors like MPM Marketing and CrateInsider.com. And, Charles, you're the man. It's time to shave. It's time to shave. It's time for you to shave. Get a haircut.
No.
I need a haircut, too.
You shave your head and I'll shave my beard.
Do you see all that?
Gray? Yeah.
Do you see all that gray, man? Like, wow.
Well, you see, this is why you don't have kids, Wesley. I don't have no gray because I ain't got no kids. One kid. That's it. Oh, he's 16.
Yeah,
see, well that's like 10.
Gentlemen, that's going to do it for Finish Line today. Thank you for joining us on the program. And again, Daytona 500, Speed Week, whole bunch of cool things leading up to the Great American Race. It's sold out at Daytona, so you have to watch it or listen to it on television or radio. For Charles Wooten, I'm Wesley Outland. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be good to one another. See you on Finish Line next Wednesday. You never know who we got on the program.
Welcome to the Community Radio Network. Follow us always via social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at CRN Sports. Plus, listen to the new CRN 87.9 and still anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
Let me tell you about MPM. McAllister Precision Marketing. They can assist up-and-coming racers with career advancement, promotion, and assist in sponsorship procurement. MPM also has media and professional etiquette training. They work with premier driver development teams and limited late models to late models. And they also help the teams to make it up to the levels of K&N, ARCA, Truck Series, and even NASCAR Xfinity. Contact Tanya McAllister today at McAllister Precision Marketing, 803-361-6199. Today, get on the board with MPM.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
This episode is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening.